Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Moving to Florida show. Your host, Judson, here. Thank you so much for joining us. Also joined by my co-host, Mohit Badlani.
What up, everyone?
A little slow reaction there, Mo. Mo's still waiting to see what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm anticipating.
Well, before we get to that, Mo, you said it's a stressful day. What's going on?
Yeah, it's a stressful day, man. We have a couple of closings coming up, so everyone's down to the wire. Hey, man. Lenders asking for some last minute stuff, so you got to get ready for that thing. Just have to be prepared for anything to come your way, especially in real estate, especially when you don't have your clear to close yet. So there's a reason why you don't. Some people don't get their clear to close
until last minute.
Until last minute,
yeah.
Because they've probably submitted something in the last minute for the underwriter to process. So sometimes that happens.
Underwriters do take their sweet time sometimes.
They do, but usually it's from my experience, I'm sure your experience too. Usually it's a 24 to 48 hour turnaround time once you've submitted a document.
Yep, sounds right. Of course, when you're submitting stuff on your day of closing, that kind of messes things up.
Exactly. So I'm still waiting to hear a clear to close. Hopefully, crossing our fingers for tomorrow for a couple of homes, and then we have our listener closing happening on Monday, possibly.
Right. Yeah. Also seeing some delays there. Sorry, guys. Got that news right before we hopped on and started recording. So yeah, we got some new Floridians on the way down, but they just got pushed back a little bit due to some complications. So
that's okay. They get to enjoy the weekend in Florida. They get to check out their area a little bit. Go to the beach for a couple of days.
There's an idea. Hey, I hope you guys will be listening tomorrow because that'll be a good suggestion. I think you'll still be driving.
They'll still be driving.
Now
they can take your
I say tomorrow.
Time and drive.
Yeah, I say tomorrow because here we were recording Thursday evening, and this show should be out tomorrow morning, as long as co-host and producer, editor Mo has this out by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it'll be out by tomorrow morning.
All right.
I'll be editing this while I watch some football tonight.
There we go. Who's playing tonight?
That's a very good question. It's a Thursday night game. So
okay.
If my Bears are not playing, I really don't look at the schedule. I know the Bears.
But you're still going to tune in and watch.
I'm still going to tune in and watch.
It's fair enough. So Mo, I noticed recently that you seem to have finally found the little shared folder I have set up for us on Facebook called Moving to Florida Show. You were liking some things in there recently.
Yep.
So guys, I've been saving for, I don't know, probably 2 years. I see something that's interesting and I had created just a shared folder. And, as I'm scrolling Facebook, I'll save it to that folder so that we have something to talk about on the show. But we've never actually used that. I think I've gone back to it from time to time and grabbed something out of there. Yep. But we've never actually used it.
Shared folder, no.
Right. So, you know what? I figure we could just dig through that together, Mo, and kind of talk about some of the things I have stuck in that folder because there's some fun stuff over there, some fun Florida content, right? So, yeah, you got to get your device ready, or get on your computer, or get on your phone and pull it up. We'll see what we've got going on here. I know I recently saved one, so the one that you reacted to, we can talk. Actually, I don't remember what it was, but I've got a few wildlife ones recently, and I tell you what, guys, I know this is an audio only podcast at this point in time, so I'm going to make it easy for you. If you go join our group on Facebook, we started a group a while back. Unfortunately, we've been too busy, haven't done a whole lot with it. I want to get that back going. I will make sure I post every one of these things in that Facebook group. So go on Facebook, search the Moving to Florida show. You should find our page, but you should also find our Facebook group. Join the group so you can see all of these posts. Mo, I don't think this was the one that you commented on. Like here, as I click on it and it starts playing. But there's a video of a manatee in a river actually pulling itself up onto the bank to eat vegetation. Did you see that one?
You know what? I didn't see that one.
And I mean,
That's probably why I didn't like it.
It's from a Facebook group that I'm actually in. I think I've recommended this Facebook group on the pod before. Did you like me referring to it as the pod, by the way?
The pod.
So this one's called Unseen Florida, another Facebook group, unaffiliated with us, but I see a lot of cool videos, like nature videos and stuff in there. But I had saved this one because literally this manatee is like climbing up on the bank of this river, like eating all of the vegetation. It's pretty cool. You normally just see the big manatees underwater, but that was pretty cool. It'd be wild to like not know what a manatee is, be floating down the river and see that.
Or you can call them Florida mermaids.
Florida mermaids, yeah. I mean, supposedly that's where the original mermaid stories came from. It was probably manatees that the pirates were seeing, right?
Yeah.
So that one was kind of cool. I thought that was neat. I'm gonna play this one. I don't know if the audio will come through, but this is another one that I saw recently. So I know we shared the video of Elizabeth a while back, my wife, with an alligator swimming up towards her when she was paddleboarding.
She was so polite to the alligator.
Right. Okay. This one's 30 seconds long. I'm going to play it and let's see if the audio comes through. Hopefully we don't get any like copyright infringements. This is just somebody's video, but they were paddleboarding and an alligator was like swimming right up to their paddleboard. So like when we were out paddleboarding, it like kind of skirted and went by her and it went the other way. But this one, like the alligator is like right up beside her paddleboard. It's not being aggressive. It's just floating, but I mean, it's crystal clear water. Let me turn my volume up. Let me see if the audio will play, if this will come through on the show.
What are you doing? Get away from me. Get away from me. Oh, no.
Alligator's right beside her.
Go away.
That is not a small gator.
Oh my God. I had to push him away with my paddle.
She did. She had to push this alligator away with her paddle. And it hissed. It never opened its mouth, but it did hiss. And it's not a small alligator. That's probably an 8-foot alligator in that video. I thought that one was wild.
That one was wild. The other one that you posted that was sitting by the person's front door.
Yes. Yeah, that was another recent one.
Too.
Yeah. Florida gator surprise at the front door. I'll try to play the audio too. I don't know if this one's got anything. Yeah.
Take a look at the camera. Maybe you might see it.
Yeah, alligators just sitting on these people's front porch. And that's like a townhome because there's another porch and a door next door. And then he just lays down, resting. So the audio wasn't very helpful on that one. But again, join our Facebook group. I'll make sure I post all of these. I'll make sure I post them all tonight so that when you join the Facebook group tomorrow, you can see these crazy videos we're talking about. But yeah, we do have wildlife in Florida. It's a thing. Not just gators in the water. Sometimes they wander and end up on your front porch.
Yep.
And that was a recent video. There's actually on the I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but on the front door of this house is a little skeleton cat. Like they've already got their Halloween decorations up.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if that had appealed to the alligator. Yeah, it's definitely a recent video.
Yeah, that's recent. I've been seeing a lot more alligator videos coming out lately.
Is it that time of year? What's going on?
That time of year where these alligators started coming out of the water and started bothering us?
Yep. So I got one more alligator one. I saved this article, and I don't know what's going on here, but that's a pretty big alligator. Did you see this one, Mo? It's on the back of an SUV.
On Wesh? No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so it was a news article, Wesh, one of the local news stations. But yeah, this looks like a Chevy SUV with an alligator like strapped onto the back bumper. They probably have.
Yes, I saw that one.
Yeah, they probably have like a rack or something. But I mean, that is like a 10-foot alligator. That is not a small alligator on the back of that vehicle.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, and I think it just said we have to assume that it was hunted legally. I have no idea when alligator season is in Florida.
That'd be something cool to look up in Google. I'm
sure when is alligator season?
When is Florida alligator season?
So, yeah, funny enough, we did actually just today. So I also run, speaking of Facebook groups, a Facebook group for my own community. You guys have probably heard I'm in new construction. I'm in a new neighborhood here. But across the street from me is a big retention pond. Now, it is a dry retention pond, but apparently one of the neighbors, like just right across the street from me, just today found a baby gator in their backyard. The pictures were like 1990s security cam footage, apparently, because it was the fuzziest pictures. I really couldn't even decipher that it was an alligator, but it couldn't have been more than 2 foot long. It was a little baby gator. Of course, what they said was, if there's a baby around, there's a mama around somewhere too. We do have a big lake down the hill from us, so I think probably, hey, this is a little baby gator that, it got pushed out. There's bigger alligators down there. That's kind of a untouched. It's orange groves around it. The lake's not public access. Nobody really has access to it. It's not getting used. I'm sure there's big alligators in there. So I'm sure this was a little gator that was maybe born down there and it had to move on and find its own place. So apparently it was looking for that retention pond behind these homes here in my neighborhood.
And they do go through like sewage systems and whatnot and make it to the other side of a pond or a lake or something. But yeah, I just looked it up. Alligator hunting season is the statewide alligator hunting season begins August 15th and ends on the morning of November 1st.
So we're right in the middle of alligator season right now.
We are. It's the first 4 weeks of the season are divided into 4 quota weeks, and each permit is assigned to one of those weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm sure it's just like in Louisiana. I actually have alligator hunted once in Louisiana. It's a lottery system. So you have to put in for the area where you actually want to hunt, and then they do drawings because they're not letting you take a lot of alligators. So they do drawings. There's very limited numbers that actually get hunted, but I'm sure that's what it is here too. It's some sort of lottery system.
yeah, and you don't need to have a hunting or a fishing license to get this alligator
Really?
license either. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I was just looking at all the permits and licensing. There are more than 15,000 applicants that will apply for only 7,000 permits. It's crazy. It's
A lot of applicants.
A little less than half. Will actually get the license to hunt.
What were those numbers again?
So it's 15,000 applicants and only 7,000 permits are going to be given out.
That's a lot different. Like in Louisiana, it was more like 5 to 1. Maybe you had a 15-20% chance of getting drawn.
Yeah,
maybe that's because there's a lot more rednecks in Louisiana. Maybe that has something to do with it.
No, I beg to differ. I think Florida is up there with them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so in not so fun alligator news, another one. I saved this one a while back. Actually, I'm looking. The article's 4 months old, and they've made arrests in this case already. That's actually what the article was about. But just another reminder to always be on the lookout. There are scammers out there. You guys know this if you've been on social media at all. There are scammers out there. But apparently this was one that was working for a little while. It says second arrest made in $300,000 real estate scam spanning 6 Florida counties. So yeah, a couple of ladies got arrested for this. So they had a scheme where they were basically posing as sellers to sell houses. So they were somehow creating fake documents so that it looked like they matched the seller on record's name, and then they were contacting real estate agents to list and sell a home, and got as far as actually selling a couple of homes. So there were home buyers out there that thought they had bought a home, but the sellers had never agreed to it because there was a scammer on the other end of it, and they were receiving those funds.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I mean that's on the title company too, because it's one thing. I mean, yes, as real estate agents, we're supposed to check IDs and make sure we know we're working with the right people, but really the title company even more so. If you get to that point, man, how do they actually do this? From my understanding, I mean, it says $300,000 and it was across 6 counties. These were cheap properties that they were doing this with,
or they were listing it cheap.
Maybe so. Yeah, trying to get a quick sale and just get it done.
Right.
But yeah, man, definitely.
You got a 6-bedroom, 4-bath house for $72,000.
Okay, actually, so I'm rereading the article again. I told you it's been a little while.
Right.
Apparently, these scammers, maybe it didn't get all the way through because the scammers also created fake title companies, websites, title agent identities, and fake email addresses, and posed
they went that far
as the title agents. So they got the homes listed, posed as the title agents, and then collected the escrows. That's what they did. So not only do you have to be very careful with your escrow, which is your deposit when you're buying a home, you want to make sure it goes to the right place, which we've talked about wire fraud before, but here's another one. Whew.
Confirm, and triple confirm.
Yeah, make sure you're getting that money to the right place.
Exactly. And talk to your realtor if you feel any sort of way about it. Like if you have a bad feeling about anything or anything, just talk to your realtor and they'll contact the title company and make sure they're legit. You can also, if you're in Florida, you can also go into Sunbiz and make sure that the company is an active company.
Good point.
Worst case scenario. I mean, I would say the best case scenario, call a real estate attorney. We have thousands of great real estate attorneys down here in Florida, and they'll be ready to help you.
Absolutely. And if you need one, if you need a recommendation, reach out to us. But hey, not, Sunbiz is a great resource you mentioned. That's, guys, where you can verify any business. You can verify that it is a legitimate business. It's registered with the state. But another one is My Florida License. So like as an agent, that's where we go to manage our real estate license. They do all of the state licensing. So anything like a title company, insurance agent, of course, real estate agent, any of these things have to have a license, and you can actually go on myfloridalicense.com and verify a license. So that's definitely a good thing to do.
Yep. Yeah. Going back to the alligator story, crazy thing is, it's happening everywhere. So I'm looking at an article that happened in Texas. They found a 14-foot alligator out in Texas.
That's a big boy.
It's a once in a lifetime alligator hunted. That's a 14-foot. Now, some of these alligators that we have in our ponds and lakes, they usually pull them out of our lakes and ponds that are in neighborhoods that are surrounded by homes and children and animals or pets. They usually pull them out when they reach a certain height. Don't know exactly
around 7 foot. Yeah, around 7 foot is what I've heard. Or if they're being aggressive, if they show any signs of aggression, if they go after a pet or of course a child or of course an adult, then if they're being aggressive, I think it's Florida, the wildlife will come and get them. It's just somebody has to call it in and report them, and they will remove nuisance animals. Funny enough, you said Texas. I actually saw, again, as I mentioned, I'm from Louisiana. I saw just something that somebody from my hometown had shared, and they had a 13-foot, 10-inch one caught recently. Wow. And the thing was, it was in their duck hunting area. Here we go back to hunting. Oh. It was in their duck hunting area, so it was on private land where they hunted ducks. But apparently, they had some dogs go missing, and that it was this 13 foot 10-inch alligator. I saw the picture. So basically it was hanging up by they had like a big heavy equipment, front end loader or something, holding it up. And there was one guy was standing on the ground, and the other one was standing on the hood of the tractor, which put him right at the other guy's height. And this alligator was still taller than both of them hanging there. It's huge. And here's where I was going with that. They said apparently when they do catch them and remove them to somewhere else and release them, they do some sort of marking. It sounded like they clipped a particular pattern or something into its like scales or spines on its back, and it said based on the pattern that they saw on its back, it was a catch and release alligator from 1998.
Oh, really?
So that alligator was removed from somewhere 24 years ago.
Wow. 1998 is only 24 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
We're showing our age. So another thing that a funny story. When I had my gift shops here in Kissimmee, and one of our biggest sellers were alligator heads. So what we do is, alligator hunters and whatnot. What they would do is, sell alligator meat to people who serve alligator meat, and then they would take their heads off and they just, clean them up and whatnot and polish them. And I don't know what the process is like, but they look really nice and shiny with all their teeth, and they would put marbles in there for their eyes. And I know and then we would sell them in the store, and they would sell like hotcakes. Like the small ones would sell for like $10, the medium size heads would sell for like 15, 20, and then the bigger heads would sell for like $40-50.
So it's a really dark conversation if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fall. It's Halloween. Let's talk about chopping alligators' heads off.
And the crazy part is the person who would supply us these heads the company's name was I don't even know if I should say the company name, but they were from Louisiana.
Oh, of course.
But since we're known for alligators too, I don't know if the state allows us to sell parts or kill them that way if we're doing the hunting season, or use their
and there are alligator farms out there. I know in Northeast Louisiana where I'm from, there was an alligator farm, because what you actually did when you went the one time that we got drawn on the lottery and we went alligator hunting, we did get one. And what you did is actually you took it to that alligator farm, and they would weigh it, and they would actually pay you out for it. And there was like a system how much they would pay per pound or per foot, or I don't remember how it was. But then you could also, I think you got more if you wanted to use, they actually sold alligator meat there from the farm. So you could use that to then go get alligator meat. But yeah, I mean, that was an alligator farm.
Yeah,
So that's probably where some of this is coming from. Oh, dude, alligator meat's great. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
I've had it. I've had it where it was not good. If it's not prepared right, it's not great. It's this will sound generic. It tastes like chicken. It does. It tastes kind of like a fishy chicken of the sea, not tuna. It's alligator. I guess it's chicken of the swamp, right? But yeah, if alligator tail meat is battered and fried, and it's fresh and it's like cooked right, it's very good. And I've also had plenty of alligator that was not great. And I'm sure some of that has to do with source. So if it's like clean eating from a farm, probably better than if it's actually out of the swamp where it's just eating whatever it catches that day. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but it is pretty good.
Okay.
And I've had it a few times. I saw recently, I didn't save this into our thing here, but I saw alligator ribs somewhere recently.
Really?
Yeah, it was like smoked alligator ribs. And I went, yeah, I'd try it. I don't think they would be very good. I don't think this is going to be like fall off the bone pork ribs or something. I'm sure it's not great, but yep, alligator ribs.
Never tried alligator ribs either, or alligator meat and stuff. But I've since living in Florida for so long, we've seen so many different things with alligators too. So like these little putt-putt golf places, you've probably noticed them all over International Drive and all over 102. These golf places and whatnot. So going back to it, so you would see like little pens with like maybe 10 or 15 medium-sized to small-sized alligators in there, and then they would give you like a fishing hook with a little piece of hot dog on it, and you would put your fishing hook over with the hot dog over this little fence, and the alligators would come up and snatch it.
Interesting.
So it was pretty cool. Yes, yeah.
So you weren't catching the alligator.
No.
Okay.
You weren't catching alligators. You were just feeding them.
Okay. I was like, man, you're gonna hooking these alligators over and over again. Doesn't sound very nice.
Right. They got all kinds of piercings around their mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be around there. And then another thing is, we have Gatorland down here. We have the albino gator over there at the Gatorland too. I don't know if you've ever been to Gatorland.
No, never been to Gatorland.
It's a huge like zoo area, and you get to see all kinds of alligators, and they would actually do feedings of the alligator, and they would also do shows with the alligator where one guy's wrestling the alligator, and there has been a couple of incidents there where the alligator chomped down on the guy.
Oh, really?
But yeah, there's been some incidents over there. But I mean, for the most part, they're pretty safe and whatnot. But you get to hold an alligator in your hand, obviously a baby one, and their mouths are usually taped up pretty tightly, so you don't get bitten by a baby gator. So, and then they have the bird cage over there too. So you go inside, and all these birds are flying around. But it's known for alligators, and you see the albino alligator there just hanging out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And that's been around forever too. It's off of Orange Blossom Trail.
Yeah, Gatorland. Yeah. Do we have anything else on gators?
I'm sure we could come up with a lot of things on gators. The Florida Gators. It's football season, so Florida Gators have started playing.
Here's another one I added in in our Moving to Florida show save files. Alligator myths debunked. Running zigzag will not save you. And gators can climb. That's true. I've seen videos of alligators climbing fences. Absolutely have seen videos of alligators climbing fences.
Yep. What else do you have over there? Any cool tidbits on alligators?
So apparently this article came out after a woman was killed by an alligator in South Florida. Yeah, it says, keep in mind, while an estimated 1.25 million alligators live in Florida, there have only been 5 reported alligator-related fatalities in the state since 2010. Okay, so not a super common thing. It does happen. Not a super common thing. But yeah, myth, if you're being chased by an alligator, run zigzag. If you run back and forth, aka zigzag, that will shorten the distance between you and the alligator. They consulted a trapper actually, and he said, my advice: raise your hands, look as big as possible, back up, and once you made yourself look large, if the alligator doesn't retreat, get out as fast as you can in a straight line. Okay. Myth: Gators can outrun a horse for the first 40 yards. They're quick.
Really?
I didn't save this one, but there was a video out recently of an alligator, like it was at a park, maybe it was at Gatorland, like galloping. Dude, it was quick. This alligator was quick.
Did you say that alligators have bad eyesight too? Did you see that one?
I do not
a
see
myth,
that
too.
one. Oh yeah, it is. It is on here. Yeah,
It's a myth too. Yeah,
They
alligators
have-
have bad eyesight. No, they don't. They actually have good eyesight.
they have eyesight on par with an owl.
Oh,
Interesting.
They can see in the dark.
Yeah. And what about alligators live longer than humans? It says not true. Humans have an average lifespan of 79. The oldest known living alligator in captivity was born in 1937, age of 81. That's an old gator.
That's an old boy.
Yep. Yep. Okay, let's get off of alligators. Let's get off alligators a little bit. Got a couple of new community things to talk about. The first one, this came out a little while back, and it's not specifically Florida related, but I think that it will eventually be Florida related. So Disney World announced a new type of community. It's called Story Living by Disney. So this is like Celebration and Golden Oak to the nth degree. Did you see
really?
this? Do you remember this, Mo?
I heard about the rumor a while back. It was probably a few years back.
Yeah, so it is a all out Disney neighborhood. So it is like living at Disney World. They will have like character visits to the neighborhood. Like I mean, hardcore. We're talking about serious Disney. You got to be a serious Disney fan. But they, when this article first came out, it was just here's the concept. We're going to do the Story Living by Disney, but they hadn't announced a location. Later, they did come back and announce that it was going to happen in California. But I can imagine if that goes over well, it's just a matter of time before we see one here in Central Florida as well.
Yeah, they actually have a legit website up now too. Story Living by Disney. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you guys, if you're moving to Florida because you want to be near Disney, definitely check this out. Again, I'll share it in our Facebook group, Moving to Florida Show. But yeah, this they've got land, they've got plenty of land for it here, so it makes sense that they would do it. Speaking of Disney communities, the Flamingo Crossing development right there south of you in Winter Garden, they have donated some land, designated some land. I think it's like 80 acres right there near that Flamingo Crossing that's actually going to be an affordable housing development of some sort. Supposed to be single family homes. I think it said something like 1,300 homes. That they're doing. That's going to be something to help with the price of housing because it is very high in this area.
Yeah, the Flamingo Crossing homes. It's over there. They're going to put the community for the college program kids that are interning and are working at Disney. So they have that dorm section over there.
Yep.
But then they were supposed to continue building off of that, but they decided not to do that, and they decided to sell the property to, I think, a developer builder to build homes and affordable homes too. That is, I don't know if it's all single family or if it's a mixed use in the sense of like single family with townhomes and whatnot.
Yep. Got another community too. You guys, if you're looking at Ocala, this might be one to check out. And this article is actually from, I remember seeing this a while back. So July of 2021. This is over a year old. We should check and see any updates on this. But Ocala has a township called Calesa. I think that's how you say it. Calesa. It will become the healthiest community in Ocala, is what the headline was. But it looks like a pretty big development, and they're doing kind of like an all-inclusive, like, it almost sounds to me like Lakewood Ranch, something like that, like they have down in the Sarasota area, but all based on like staying healthy and fit. They got walking trails all throughout the community, which is not uncommon. We see a lot of neighborhoods with that now. But get this, they have an aquatic center coming in this neighborhood. So that'll be like your HOA amenity is like an indoor Olympic pool aquatic center. That's pretty cool.
That is really, really cool. And these are becoming more and more popular with a lot of people that are moving down here. It's like resort style communities.
Yes.
And these specific communities that have a niche or have some kind of following, whether it's wildlife, whether it's vegetation, or whether it's something like this. But yeah, these are becoming a lot more popular these days, especially with all the land that we have here in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing, it says they have these Ohm homes. They're multi-use structures that can be used for outdoor gatherings and yoga classes, filtered throughout the community. Or sprinkled. I think sprinkled's the word I'm looking for. They're sprinkled throughout the community.
It's a Zen community.
That's right. That's right. So if you're looking at Ocala, you want to be in some kind of new type of development. Kalisa is the name of that one. So check that out, guys.
No relation to Game of Thrones, Kalisa. That's Khaleesi.
Oh, okay. I'm unfamiliar. I got one more. This will be my last one. I just don't know. I want to get an update on this one because, again, this is an article from last year, and we had talked about the Crystal Lagoons. We had someone reach out to us from the show that was interested in Crystal Lagoons. We took a drive over to what was that, Wimawa? Is that where?
Yeah, Wimawa.
To look at the new Crystal Lagoon that had opened there. But supposedly we're getting some right here in Central Florida around the Orlando area. So it says work underway to bring first of 5 planned inland lagoons to Central Florida. And this is the one, again, right over on Valley Boulevard off of Avalon in South Winter Garden. That's one of the sites that I saw one was coming. This says work is underway, but I've been watching that area because I'm really interested in this Crystal Lagoon. Of course, being our area, it's going to be a little more touristy. That's kind of what it's going to be designated for. So it's not going to be like a neighborhood around it like we've seen in some of the ones over in the Tampa, Bradenton area. But I also saw there's a short-term rental like community over there. I think it's called Leaky Tiki Village.
Yes, Leaky Tiki's been around for ages.
So when I look at actual tax records, Leaky Tiki owns that land, and there's actually signs when I went through there recently that say there's another phase of that Leaky Tiki coming. So I wonder if that's who's building this. It could be that that's who's building the Crystal Lagoon, and then they're going to build short-term rental like condos around it. That's kind of what it looks like is going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to be digging for an update on that one because I'm really interested in this lagoon because I really just want to have an annual pass and go swim there.
Now, the article that I'm reading is directly from Crystal Lagoons, and they have 110 projects in different phases of operations throughout Florida and Texas. Well, 22 states in the United States, Florida and Texas, too, have seen a boom in those developments. So the next one that they filed for is in Lake Nona. So
no surprise.
They're going to be partnering up with the biggest development in Florida, which is Tavistock Development Company. So they're going to definitely put one out in Lake Nona because it says that they've already filed in 2018 to get permits and stuff ready.
For the Lake Nona, yeah.
For the Lake Nona one, yeah.
Yeah, no surprise. I mean, again, booming area.
Yeah. It's 15 acres of turquoise lagoon. Will use Crystal Lagoon's unique pioneering technology, which has patent worldwide.
15 acres is a big one.
That's a big boy.
The one we went and looked at in Wimawa was 5, so it's 3 times that. That's a big lagoon.
That is going to be huge.
Yep, I want to go.
Moving to Lake Nona anytime soon?
Well, so there you go, guys. It just I've been saving stuff in this folder with Mo and I for a long time. Like, hey, here's something we could talk about on the show, and we just never used it. So I wanted to just visit some of those things, let you know some of the things that I look at to bring to the show, bring to you guys and talk about. I'm going to share all of these again in our Facebook group. So go on Facebook and look for Moving to Florida Show. I have more of them here that we're not even talking about today. So I've got more content, based on that. Here's just a couple of the articles. Claremont named one of 15 best lake towns in the United States. Central Florida's enviable and growing network of trails. They're talking about the Coast to Coast Connector Trail, which is something that I'm really excited about. Multi-use bike path and trail that's going to go all the way across Florida. And one more, how much will it cost to rent a U-Haul truck? Go join our group. I'll share those to the group as well, guys.
Okay. Yeah. I think I have a price in mind.
Depends on
driving around town.
Yeah, depends on if you're moving that U-Haul to Florida or out of Florida. Because it's a lot cheaper to move a U-Haul out of Florida because not many of them are going that way.
Right. Anything else you want to add for ours?
That's all I've got for today. I'm getting ready to go out to a nice dinner in downtown Claremont. I'm excited about it. Going to check out Southern on the 8th tonight. Haven't been before. So I hear it's good food. Looking forward to checking it out.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. We want to hear from you. You can reach us on our Moving to Florida show hotline by dropping a voicemail or texting us at 407-900-5859 or drop us a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Moving to Florida Show. And for Twitter, our handle is at Moving to FL Show. If you'd like to connect with us, if you have any questions or if you need a realtor here in Florida, you can reach us at our Moving to Florida Show at gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to this show if you like our content so it'll automatically download to your device and get you one step closer to moving to Florida.